the Bondservants, and the Battle of Words. While we were praying, I saw a long table. Everyone in the hall was standing on one side of it, and I had the impression that we were 103 in number. Then, a long, wide scroll was unrolled. It was almost the same size as the table, but not quite, and it covered the length of the table. I saw that it had writings on it, but the writings were very faint. It looked like a document, like an agreement or a complaint, but I could not see the specifics of what was written. I only noticed that at the top of the document was written, Bondservant. Everyone was expected to sign the agreement. The way to sign was to stamp the document with a hand stamp. When I asked why it was not a normal thumbprint, as would usually be done, the response was that a thumbprint was too small. It was not enough to show full commitment. It had to be the whole hand. Then I saw the stamp pad. It was a colorless, jelly-like substance. When a person placed their hand in it and then stamped it on the paper, it would take on a color. Before stamping, you could not tell what color it would be. Different people had different colors on their stamp: red, blue, pink, black, and others. It was not random. There were classifications. Some people were red, some were blue, some were brown, and so on. After stamping, you were expected to use the hand stamp as support to vault over the table to the other side. Some people used one hand and jumped over. Others used two hands. No one was allowed to walk around the table. You had to jump over it. I did my own hand stamp, vaulted over to the other side, and then realized that not everybody made it. In fact, I heard that only about 30 to 40 people crossed over out of the 103. On the other side, I saw that the table had shelves, like drawers, assigned to each person. There were names on them. I realized that some drawers were unoccupied because their owners did not make the choice to cross over. The instruction was this: if there was an empty, unclaimed drawer beside you, you were to open it and take what was inside. Take your own, and also take the one beside you. When I opened the drawer to my right and took out what was inside, I saw tools, hammers, chisels, and different pieces of metal equipment. Then those who had crossed over the table were ushered out of that space. There was a sense of resigned disappointment from the one who had invited us. It felt like I would have preferred if all of you jumped, but since not everyone did, their resources will not be wasted. It almost felt worse because there was no violence or compulsion. Everything was voluntary. If someone chose not to jump, that was simply it. Those who made the choice and received the tools were ushered out of the hall. We came into an open space overlooking a valley, and there was warfare going on in the valley. The enemies had dark skin, almost the color of charcoal. Some of them were riding large animals that looked like rhinos, but much bigger, with horns on their noses. Others were in the form of flying creatures, while some others were on foot, using clubs to fight. On the other side of the battle were those who seemed like the good side. They were running in from different places, not necessarily as a single group. They appeared to be independent parties. I assumed they had heard there was a battle going on and that there would be profit and gain at the end, so they came hoping to get something for themselves. It was like a free-for-all tournament. Unfortunately, they came without armor, shields, or weapons, and they were being defeated. The enemy's strategy was to knock people down. Once someone hit the ground, they were out of the battle. They became paralyzed and could not stand up again. So those who came without armor were easily defeated. Then the rest of us, who had come out of the hall, were led down into the battle. We were called the Lord's invitees. They did not hear about any profit and did not come for gain. They came because the Lord had invited us. Another thing I noticed was that everyone was talking. The atmosphere was loud with words. The enemies were speaking filth and discouragement, dirty words, blasphemy, insults, and swearing. They were also shouting discouraging statements like, "You are not strong enough," "You will fail," "God has abandoned you," and "You cannot do this." Where physical weapons could not reach, discouraging words would hit people and weaken them. Those who came for profit were speaking affirmations. They said things like, "I am strong, I am beautiful, I am smart, I can do this." But their words had very little power. They were like a breeze, just wind that passed by and did not affect the enemy. The Lord's invitees, however, were speaking scriptures as they descended into the valley. They began to quote a lot of scriptures. I noticed that they were not consciously thinking about what to say. The scriptures came out naturally from within them. What came to mind was the scripture, "Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks." These scriptures were like invisible, flying salt. Wherever the invitees struck, the scriptures went ahead of them and caused greater damage. As we were descending, I saw another army arriving from the east, over a mountain as reinforcements. They too were the Lord's invitees. Then I heard the instruction, "Find them, join them." It meant to identify the people the Lord was bringing into the battle and align with them. The invitees were clearly making more progress and gaining more victory. Then the others, the ones who came for profit, became angry and turned against them. They turned against the invitees because they felt their profit would be taken away. They said things like, "Why should we allow these invitees to win? Looking so pious and holy, who do they think they are?" So they joined forces with the enemy to attack the invitees. This was worse because they knew where to strike. They could hurt the invitees more than the enemy could. They spoke words like, "How do you know it was God that sent you? And are you not doing too much?" These were also words of discouragement. Because they appeared closer to the invitees and shared some similarities with them, they had greater access to hurt them. Where the enemy's attacks could be brushed off, these ones could penetrate deeper. As I watched this, I asked the guide beside me, "Won't you stop them? They are hurting the Lord's invitees." He responded,
"Greed makes you an enemy. That is why it is the root of all evil."
That was where the vision ended. 3rd of January, 2026, Sister Fo Gam Watch.